What's the usual thinking? There are two sides to every story. Not as far as we're concerned. We have more than 20 in our menu. Here on NEOtropolis, this is not business as usual. Welcome to NEOtropolis. We are not business as usual. Hi, I'm your host, Jim Evans. If you've yet to have dinner or otherwise, and you're not sure what to have, you want to watch tonight's show. We're going to spend quality time with a Northeast Ohio food company that can make you skip the main course and just dig right into their special selection of sides. And as a result, they're on the main course to success. That's just ahead. But first, we'll take a look at regional business news from the NEOtropolis Good Business News Aggregator.
This is the good business news along the I-77 corridor for the week of March 14th. Tuesday's Cleveland Plain Dealer front page and the Akron Beacon Journal business section reports that Wickliffe-based Lubrizol Corporation, that makes chemicals for pharmaceutical companies, fuel additives for gasoline and diesel, and other chemicals for the transportation sector, will be purchased by Nebraska-based Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated, owned by the renowned investor Warren Buffett. The buyout has been unanimously approved by both companies' board of directors, but is pending approval by the Lubrizol shareholders. Lubrizol employs 6,900 people worldwide, including 2,050 in Northeast Ohio. Tuesday's Cleveland Plain Dealer business section reports that Chesterland-based media company Mental Floss is being bought by billionaire British publisher Felix Dennis. Mental Floss was created in 2000 as an offbeat humor magazine by Duke University students and boasts a paid circulation of more than 100,000 subscribers in 44 countries. Tuesday's Cleveland Plain Dealer business section also reports that Cleveland-based Key Bank has been awarded the U.S. Green Buildings Council Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Gold certification for its renovation of 3 floors in the downtown Cleveland Higbee building. The renovation achieved the award by including recycled materials, natural lighting, air monitoring systems, and low-polluting paints and carpets. Tuesday's Akron Beacon Journal business section reports that on Monday, the agreement for Akron-based First Energy Corporation to sell its Fremont Energy Center in Fremont, Ohio, to Columbus-based American Municipal Power Incorporated became absolute. The transaction is expected to close on or about July 1st. Thursday's Akron Beacon Journal business section reports that Rochester, New York-based Paycheck Incorporated is consolidating its offices in Greene and Warrensville Heights, Ohio, and moving them to the village of Boston Heights, Ohio. The move will bring about 140 jobs to the village. This is the good business news along the I-77 corridor for this week. NEOtropolis is your source for good business news.
Tonight's offering comes with not your ordinary choice of sides. You can get turnip greens with turkey, sweet potato casserole, collard greens, red beans, and sausage. Okay, we don't want to fill you up just yet. We'll give you a few minutes and then return for your order. Right now, we'll place our order with our content partner, the Business Journal. It's time for the Weekly Buzz.
I'm Stacia Ertis with the Business Journal Weekly Buzz for Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley. Local safety unions rallied this week, saying Senate Bill 5 and Governor Kasich's proposed budget cuts pose serious safety concerns to the community. Members of SEIU 1199 and the OCSEA rallied on Federal Plaza in downtown Youngstown. They were protesting the loss of collective bargaining rights under SB 5 and that under Governor Kasich's budget plan, 5 prisons in the state would be sold to private operators.
When you cut the budget, when you cut the number of parole officers that are out there, when you increase the caseload for the parole officers that will remain, you've created a danger to the community because there are just too many criminal offenders.
The Western Reserve Port Authority is discussing options for joining forces with its counterparts in the region to create a super bond authority to help fund economic development projects.
We're looking at creating a fund with a number of port authorities, a number of counties in Northeast Ohio together that would allow us to develop a fund like other port authorities have, that they can offer financing initiatives to their local businesses.
On the front page of the mid-March edition of the Business Journal out this week, Dan O'Brien reports on downtown parking decks that are deteriorating and behind in taxes. Piles of loose concrete and exposed rebar are just some of the problems commuters are complaining about in the downtown decks. Falling debris inside USA Parking's Plaza parking deck forces commuters to watch where they park their cars. Fifth Ward Councilman Paul Drennan says the city wasn't aware of the deck's condition. The city pays USA Parking $5,000 a month for 250 spaces used by VXI call center employees. USA Parking's president and owner Lou Frango says no one has ever lodged a complaint in his office about the deck. USA bought the 40-year-old deck in 2006 for $2 million and is behind more than $54,000 in property taxes. Also in the latest edition, Dennis LaRue reports in our banking beat that local bankers are seeing the demand for loans return. LaRue finds more Mahoning Valley businesses are regaining their footing and increasing their lines of credit as they buy equipment, expand, and need to increase their working capital, with the mood of small business owners one of restrained hope. And those are this week's headlines. Be sure to check out the Buzz newscast every business day online at businessjournaldaily.com. I'm Stacia Erdis. We'll see you next week.
And now it's time for a NEOtropolis fact.
Did you know that there are 400 polymer-related companies located in the Akron area?
It's funny how many times we leave the house, go out somewhere else to get home cooking. Well, thanks to a husband and wife owned and operated Macedonia food company, you can go out and get that Southern style and bring it home to cook. Simply Southern Sides provides a mouth-watering menu of easy-to-cook and serve side dishes right at many local grocers and beyond. And we'll see they're anything but simple, starting small and with a growing appetite. Jennifer Boers now serves up their story, which is not your food business as usual.
Simply Southern Sides is based out of Macedonia, but the Dave store you see behind me here in Akron is one of many stores carrying some of their products. Now, their motto is simply prepared, simply delicious, and you'll see from the story they are simply not doing business as usual.
Everything's fully cooked and seasoned. If you can boil a bag and cut a bag open, you can cook.
All right, and just pour the bag.
Claude Booker is the president of Simply Southern Sides, while his wife Crystal is the owner.
Simply Southern Sides is a manufacturer of fully cooked and seasoned, boil-in-the-bag, Southern-style comfort food side dishes. You know, we like to say Sunday dinner on a Tuesday.
And in just a matter of a few years, they've reached several $1 million in sales.
We got to $3.8 million in 2.5 years. By the grace of God, you know, some favor. I always give him his blessing. And some hard work, and strategically knowing where the bones were buried and the best way to do it.
But as you can tell from the company name and Claude's southern drawl, the Bookers weren't born and raised in Northeast Ohio.
I didn't wake up. You just from the South saying you want to move to the snow. But my wife had very bad allergies living in Atlanta, which I loved Atlanta. And so she came here for a vacation for 2 weeks. Told me she didn't have to take any of her medicine.
So they decided to head north, and Claude left his job in distribution with U.S. Food Services. After starting a company making Southern-style chicken wings and being set back by the bird flu scare, the Bookers decided to go a different direction, focusing only on side dishes.
So y'all want to know what's on the menu? All right. Sweet potato casserole, mashed potatoes, red beans and andouille sausage.
These are just a few of the items the company offers, now totaling more than 24 different sides.
So I'm a culinarian, and everybody in the South, you know, pretty much knows how to cook what we do. We just found a way to deliver a little bit of mama by just boiling water.
Although the food may be 100% Southern, Claude says being located in the Midwest has lots of benefits.
So I moved up here, and it actually was the best decision because strategically, Ohio puts me, especially Northeast Ohio, I can get to Michigan, I can get to Indiana, I can get to D.C., Baltimore, and all of these areas within a 6-hour drive.
And customers from the north, south, east, and west are all falling in love with these side dishes. He started selling them in large packages to delis and grocery stores and then to the military.
Because of the military, we're a top 100 military supplier. We're ranked number 83 with Defense Logistic Agency support. we're in Kuwait, we're in Bahrain. So wherever our soldiers are in the Middle East, we're very proud to be providing them, a little bit of home.
These large customers helped grow the company very quickly, and then the Bookers decided to step into retail.
Now we do retail because we've grown and we can afford the marketing and stuff that they do, but that's how we grew. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
The Bookers' positive attitude has also helped them reach the success they have today.
It feels good, but you don't really have a whole lot of time to celebrate because, you got work to be done. And, if you see our operation, we put the money right back. We want to be a major provider of jobs in Northeast Ohio, and that's what we do. So, we're happy. We pinch ourselves and say, wow, we're blessed. But after you do that, it's time to go.
Claude and Crystal say they rely on each other's strengths to keep the business moving ahead.
Well, most folks wouldn't want to work with their spouse. But my wife, she's very bright. She is good at what I'm not good at. I hate the little details. I can't open QuickBooks, nor do I want to know it. I'm a strategic person. So what Crystal brings is all those things that are my inefficiencies.
Claude says they've also gotten a lot of support from Cleveland-based JumpStart.
JumpStart, really, I say that jokingly, they provide just strategic stuff that, I may never have even heard of. So I really love them. But in addition to JumpStart, I was just made a President's Council member, which is the top 16 African-American-owned businesses in Northeast Ohio.
Even with all of their success, like any business, they've had struggles along the way, like trying to get funding from banks.
But we've got great working capital, and we've got the sales engine really rolling. So I know if we struggle, I know the struggle for other small business, has to just be overwhelming. So I would just say access to capital. Now, we feel confident that we're going to get it. We believe we're bankable.
And the company is in the process of expanding at their base in Macedonia.
We're opening our own distribution center because, we want to be able to create distribution in Northeast Ohio. We also are opening our own outlet store where it's like a cash and carry, because the public, when they see that broad list of 28 items, they want to get it and they want to try and taste.
And this will be their own culinary R&D center to continue to develop these creative southern side dishes, which makes their total occupied space about 11,000 square feet.
And so we got some big stuff coming that we think that they're going to say that's the model of what small business should be in Northeast Ohio.
In fact, when asked what's the best compliment a customer can give, Claude replied that it's as simple as this.
Your mama taught you right.
Based on his projections for the company's near future, there's no doubt that she did.
Well, we see ourselves getting to $30 million within five years. And we see us being a stand-in-the-gap type company in Northeast Ohio for Cleveland and surrounding counties. So we want to hire a minimum of 30 people. That's our goal. We want to create full-time and part-time jobs. We want to be known for being philanthropic, giving back to the community.
And the company is expecting this rapid growth in sales to continue. In fact, by the end of 2011, they are expecting to reach $6 million in sales. For Western Reserve PBS, I'm Jennifer Boris.
Are you not doing business as usual? Then email us at neotropolis.org. Tell us how you're changing your business, organization, or government agency to compete in the new economy. And who knows, you could be starring on NEOtropolis, not business as usual. So we took a look at a food company from a microeconomic point of view. Now we talk with experts in the field for a macroeconomic perspective, or what we like to call fly-eye economics.
With over 4,000 lenses, the eyes of a common housefly are among the most complex in the insect world.
With us tonight are panelists Garvin Carrington-Matthews, Director of the Kent Regional Business Alliance, and Johnny Hutton Jr., Vice President for the JumpStart Inclusion Advisors. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us this evening. From our segment, we saw an entrepreneur that found success in a larger scale institutional market and then decided to change directions and focus on smaller scale home market. For most entrepreneurs, talk about the challenges that making that type of change might bring and what troubles they may encounter along the way. Garvin?
Okay, well, scale. certainly is one. When you're producing in bulk, it is a little bit different to when you need to produce items for a smaller quantity that's going out there to the market. So that's one item. Next, if this is an opportunity for growth, which it is, managing growth is critical. And I think Johnny had pointed out to them that the growth has to be managed. Okay, there are several issues with managing growth. It would be inventory, financial and fiscal controls, marketing, strategic planning. All of those things should be addressed in order to have this company work through what will inevitably be a difficult, but it can be managed scenario.
Is it a change of business plans, basically?
Essentially, yes, it is. And what you have in this particular opportunity is the wholesale space is quite different from the retail space. And so you will have different packaging issues, different nutritional issues, labeling. You will have different departments, and the way that most of these companies are structured is that each inside of a grocery store, for example, a Kroger, they have multiple profit centers, and each one of those profit centers have their own quote-unquote CEOs. And so to enter into one part of Kroger doesn't necessarily put you in all the other areas in Kroger. And so there has to be a very detailed strategy in how you're going to approach that. And the market and the way that you attack that particular market is different from a wholesale strategy standpoint to a retail strategy standpoint.
What type of options might an entrepreneur have to make this type of change, shift in focus, if they're not sure what to do?
Well, they certainly can approach an organization like mine, the Kent Regional Business Alliance. We operate a few different organizations, including a small business development center and a procurement technical assistance center. Well, they have been down the route of selling to the federal government already. So the Procurement Technical Assistance Center could assist them a little bit in continuing some work there. But in the new space in which they intend to go into, we can certainly assist them with consulting services, which include marketing, advising in human resources, operations, those sorts of things.
And in our particular case, if we identify the company as being one of those scalable, high-impact, high-growth type companies, then we offer that intensive assistance, strategic planning, as well as access to capital to help them reach that next level as well. And I believe that Garv and I have actually collaborated on a couple of companies, to help them and kickstart them in that direction.
Talk about Simply Southern Side's involvement with JumpStart and how that process played out.
Well, actually, we were approached by Simply Southern Sides last summer, I believe it was, and he was looking to expand his line of business into this retail space. So he had already had positioning with multiple wholesale operations throughout the country. I think he was a Tier 1 supplier to most of your major corporations. He was in the top, I think, 100 DL troop providers, suppliers to the military. And so, but that was all in the wholesale space. And he had a wish to get into the retail space and to grow his business from its current level to what we consider to be a very large level, from a high growth standpoint. And also wanted to possibly get into some type of relationship with his co-packer where he would also be a partner in that particular situation. So the opportunity itself really presented itself as one that was that high growth, high employment type opportunity. And we were able to help Claude in some of his strategic planning and setting those milestones to carefully step through and craft how that package needed to look. And to this point, I think he's expanded his operation in Macedonia, and he's doing pretty well with it. So
this company already part of the of JumpStart's President's Council, which is made up of 16 African-American businesses in Northeast Ohio. Touch on the advantages to being in a position like that.
Well, in the President's Council, which is a little separate than JumpStart, he is one of the President's Council members now. And so, once again, that's another organization that has corporate members as well as entrepreneurs. Okay. And he is one of those entrepreneurs in that ecosystem with them. And they help other entrepreneurs through a couple of different programs. They've got a program where they send entrepreneurs through, I believe it's a 12-week program, really getting them and getting their plans and strategies developed from a classroom standpoint. And then after that, there are some funds and some access to capital through the President's Council members to help get them positioned in different industries. So there is definitely a very strong benefit, and they have some influence when it comes to other, especially in the minority community, other minority, growth type companies.
Garvin, anything to add on that?
Yes. Well, as far as organizations that can help, the SCORE is certainly one. Okay. The Association for Retired Executives. They can certainly lean on some of the advice they can get in that area, and it's advice at no cost to them, just as our services are at the Kent Regional Business Alliance in terms of our consulting services. So we can certainly help them look at this new market and see what it is about this new market that really is so exciting. They're very excited about it. But part of our job will be to take a step back from that initial excitement and the euphoria of us doing this, to look at it and really question, is this the right move? And if it is, then how best can we go about achieving the goals that they would like to set for themselves?
As we saw in the story, and you touched on it earlier, I believe, Simply Southern side's involved with the military, and so now they're dealing on a global level here. Talk about the challenges for a company like that in taking that step.
Absolutely, and a lot of it is logistics and distribution, and also the capacity on the front end with the manufacturing. And so when you are looking to enter into markets like that, quite frankly, part of your benchmark and your gauge will be, can you deliver on your product? And so with the co-packing relationship that Simply Southern Size has established in this particular case, which has been tested throughout the markets on regional and then national levels, the military and then global organizations feel very comfortable in doing business with them. And so another initiative that we have at JumpStart Inclusion Advisors is our first pilot initiative, which it's really a proof of concept for a lot of our high-growth companies, where they take that initial product and put it into some type of piloted revenue type opportunity to see if they can deliver. At that point, if they deliver, then a revenue opportunity then follows further, and then we are then proving ourselves able and capable of delivering that product throughout the rest of the country.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time, but great job tonight, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the food industry and its future always makes for good discussion. And with that, it's time now for Into the Future.
Into the future.
Okay, so you're having lunch with friends, family, or business associates, and one thing leads to another, and someone mentions their idea for a new product. Maybe a special type of iPhone holder, or a new board game, or parts to make a robot, or maybe a lipstick dispenser. Everybody has ideas. In the olden days, that would be, say, 2010. You chat about your ideas for a while, and then someone would mention the staggering manufacturing costs, and the conversation would quickly move to the dessert menu. Well, times have changed. You don't need to look to the stars and ponder what could have been. No, instead you should check out MakerGear.com, the company I founded way back in 2009, and learn about 3D printing and how you can transform your ideas into real, tangible, and physical objects. 3D printing. Let me explain what it is. You know how desktop publishing works? You can use software like Photoshop or Illustrator and create two-dimensional designs that can be printed by your laser printer. Desktop manufacturing is similar, but instead of Photoshop, you use software to create 3D models, and instead of a laser printer, you have a 3D printer. A 3D printer takes plastic feedstock and melts it and deposits it layer by layer to build up the object that you want to create. You can build many kinds of things this way. Our customers use their printers to make robots, bead sorters, game pieces and figurines, abstract art pieces, puzzles, hard-to-find replacement parts, architectural models, dental models. Our products are used at places like the University of Pennsylvania, MIT, University of Texas, Virginia Tech, and at companies like Disney. Our customers are students, engineers, artists, geeks, nerds, hackers, kids, and generally intelligent and savvy people. We've shipped kits and supplies to something like 49 states and every continent. Well, Antarctica doesn't count. I mean, not counting Antarctica. As I'm recording this, we have printers headed to Australia, Taiwan, Korea, and many of the parts in these kits are manufactured right here in Northeast Ohio. Much of this U.S. supply of plastic in these printers is manufactured not far from Akron. Maker Gear is known throughout the world as a trusted provider of quality 3D printers and supplies. So put down that dessert menu and start transforming those wacky ideas into legitimate opportunities. Learn more at MakerGear, MakerGear.com. I'm Rick Pollack. Thank you.
Always on our menu, a special serving of the financial field. And the experts at NCA Financial Planners are here to do that now with a stock wrap.
This week's local company stock spotlight is Travel Centers of America. With over 30 years of experience, Travel Centers of America has established itself as a leader in serving travelers. You may recognize the blue and red Travel Centers TA logo along our highway system in 39 states. Headquartered in Westlake, Ohio, with a distribution center in Tennessee, TA employs over 14,000 people. Travel Centers has most of their locations in Ohio, California, and Texas, and they operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Designed to fit the needs of all travelers, Travel Centers of America locations are equipped with an array of traveling amenities. From diesel fuel and gasoline to full-service restaurants, branded lodging, and nationally known fast food restaurants, you'll find exactly what you need while you're on the road. A few unique tools that Travel Centers of America offers through their website include GPS downloads that help you find TA locations when you're on the move, a TruckSmart Apple app for your iPhone, and interactive trip planners. Travel Centers of America trades on the Amex under the symbol TA. The midweek close was $6.64. Year-to-date, the stock is positive an impressive 76.13%. Over the last 3 years, TA is negative 2.35. Back to you, Jim.
There's always so much to choose from when it comes to culture and entertainment in Northeast Ohio. And we have just a guy who has all the sides covered. It's Cool Cleveland's Thomas Mulready. He joins us now to tell you about some other events that are going on in NEOtropolis this weekend. What we're talking about is the business of fun.
Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we're here today at the ballpark at Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland. But this week, we don't want to talk about this kind of park. We want to talk about parks and gardens throughout Northeast Ohio. For example, Canalway Center. If you haven't been there, it's just off of Route 77 between Cleveland and Akron. Fabulous place that integrates the towpath trail, people, industry, and nature all combined into one. Very educational, and you get to hike the trail. You can ride your bike along there. Fabulous place. And of course, that towpath trail goes all the way down to the Ohio River, comes all the way up through Summit County, all the way into Cuyahoga County, almost all the way to the lake, and they're just finishing up those last few miles. Also, one of our favorite places, Holden Arboretum. Check it out any time of the year, every season of the year. They've got lectures, they've got summer camps, Fridays in the garden for cool events. Also, Firestone Park in Akron. Often they do music and bands. We've played there with our band in the past. It's a lot of fun. Boardman Park in Youngstown. They've got pancake breakfast. They've got a kinder art program for kids. Mill Creek Park. They've got yoga, health and wellness, reading programs, preschool, writing programs, workshops, Tai Chi, pottery, hikes. So check out your parks and gardens in addition to your ballparks any time of the year in Northeast Ohio. This is Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in NEOtropolis.
Remember, there are things that you can do to help the Northeast Ohio economy. One way is to reserve your place at any of the events Thomas told us about and make your investment in fun. You can also position yourself out there and make your brilliant comments about the Northeast Ohio economy to any of the people in the refrigerated food aisle and tell them to spread the word. In the meantime, log on to our website, neotropolis.org, and tell us what you think. I'm Jim Evans. We'll see you next week on NEOtropolis, not business as usual.
Funding for NEOtropolis has been provided by the Burton D. Morgan Foundation, committed to the free enterprise system.
First Place Bank is proud to sponsor NEOtropolis. As a community bank, First Place Bank believes we are only as strong as the communities we serve. Locally owned businesses are the cornerstone of our communities. We concentrate on helping local businesses make the most of their resources through a variety of services delivered with a community banking touch.
The Dominion Foundation. JumpStart, working with entrepreneurs to accelerate the growth of their high-potential businesses to create a more prosperous economic future for Northeast Ohio. Youngstown Business Incubator. And NorTech.
Next week on NEOtropolis, more buzz, stock wrap, and into the future. Find out who is not doing business as usual. Now stay tuned for Newsnight.